Hi, I'm Val the Realtor. Welcome back to my channel. This week, we're outside exploring Nose Hill Park. If you like this video and love seeing real estate content weekly, please hit the like button and subscribe. I love hearing from you, so feel free to comment and share my videos. Now, let's get started on Nose Hill Park. Nose Hill Park, like the name suggests, can be construed like the shape of a nose. So if you think about the shape of a nose, there's a lot of hills to climb and a lot of valleys. It is a municipal park, not a provincial park. In fact, Nose Hill is the 4th largest urban municipal park in Canada and one of the largest in North America. It is worth the climb, and it's not always a steep climb, but it is worth the climb because from the top of Nose Hill, you will have the most spectacular views of the city of Calgary. You can see downtown, the Children's Hospital, the University of Calgary, even Walmart, all kinds of residential communities. In fact, there are 12 communities that border on Nose Hill Park. You can also see the mountains on a clear day, and you get to enjoy the beautiful outdoors on natural preserved prairie land. Nose Hill Park is located in northwest Calgary, actually quite close to downtown. On the south side, you have John Laurie. On the east, you have 14th Street. On the west, you have Shaganappi Trail, and on the north side is bordered by McEwen. Actually, McEwen's pretty lucky. They get a little private community access to Nose Hill Park on the north side. There used to be more than 300 kilometers of trails. There's about 60 kilometers of trails now because about 10 to 15 years ago, the city went on a rehabilitation program to kind of preserve a lot of the prairie land and of course the wildlife that comes through here. And therefore they did about 8 kilometers of asphalt paving, which is great for accessibility. So if you have wheelchairs, strollers, even cyclists, anybody with wheels that wants easy access, you can get easy access to Nose Hill Park. And then the rest is mostly dirt and gravel, and there's still some that are man-made footpaths. Now, if you were to walk from north to south, you're probably at about 4.8 kilometers or 3 miles, but you can also walk from east to west, and you're just slightly under, I think it's about 4 kilometers or so, 2.5 to 3 miles. So what can you do up at Nose Hill Park? Well, there's a lot of trails that you can walk, cycle, jog, or picnic. It is a day park, there's no camping. There are some washrooms, and you do have some parking accessibility on 3 sides of the park. Hi! It's a great place to take your dog for a walk or a run, as there's multiple off-leash dog parks up within Nose Hill. Nose Hill Park is stunningly beautiful, and while I don't like to play favorites on the different spots in Calgary or communities, I have to say Nose Hill is one of my special favorite places in Calgary. Now, you can drive here and park, as I mentioned. There's parking lots on 3 sides of Nose Hill Park, but you can also walk here if you're fortunate enough to live in one of the 12 communities that border onto the park. Now, if you're on the south side along John Laurie, there's 2 access points. The main one is an overpass over John Laurie that is centered in between Charleswood and Bruntwood that you get to walk over top, which has stunning views on itself, and into Nose Hill Park. There's another spot more towards Collingwood along John Laurie, and actually they're going to be adding some traffic lights in there to help you get across John Laurie. On the east side, that's very cool access because a lot of the communities are actually going through a tunnel under 14th Street and up into Nose Hill Park. 4 tunnels under 14th Street. So this is North Haven, Huntington Hills, Beddington. They're all accessing it through tunnels. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, pretty cool.
On the west side, off Shaganappi Trail, you can certainly access from Edgemont and walk across. You literally have a traffic light and walking path to walk across right into Nose Hill Park. And as I mentioned, if you're lucky enough to live on the north side of the park in McEwen, you have your own private access from there. There's always something to discover at Nose Hill Park. I was very excited to find this during COVID on one of my hikes through here. Obviously, a family or collection of kids have made a little fort in the trees using all the leftover trees, logs, limbs, branches that they found nearby. It's pretty cool. If you're planning to come to Nose Hill Park, it's easy to do a couple hours or you could spend the whole day. Couple of tips for you. Number one, bring water. You're going to need water. There's nothing up here, and all of Alberta is very dry, particularly the top of Nose Hill when you're hiking, so make sure you bring lots of water. Go before you go. So there are some bathrooms at the base of the hill. If you're on foot, make sure you go before you come, because once you get to the top, you're living in the outdoors. If you're going to be here for an extended period of time, you're welcome to bring a picnic. In fact, the City of Calgary has even made it legal that if you wanted to bring wine to enjoy outdoors, you can do that as well. A hat is always recommended, and layers, because you never know when the wind's going to pick up, the weather's going to change, or how hot it's going to be once you get to the top in the full open sun. Nose Hill can get quite busy on the weekends, and especially since COVID, when everybody discovered outdoor spaces and the value of them. So if you can, it's good to go between Monday and Friday during the day. You might run into the odd class that's here from school, because there are a bunch of schools nearby that are walking distance to Nose Hill, and what better way to learn than in the great natural environment where science is happening. Nose Hill Park is open every day, all year round, all hours of the day. And interestingly enough, if you come just before the sun rises, don't be surprised if you run into some photographers who are trying to capture the sunrise, or at the end of the day, photographers trying to capture the sunset. You'll also run into a number of bird watchers and people that wanted to see if they can get a glimpse of the natural wildlife. After all, Calgary is pretty much sitting in a natural wildlife corridor, home to many deer, bobcats, coyotes, raccoons, porcupines. I could go on. We see all kinds of animals in our urban environment that we wouldn't typically see in another larger city. Thanks for watching this week's episode on Nose Hill Park. I hope that you're going to partake and get out and enjoy the great outdoors. We're having a lovely fall, and this is the perfect time of year to enjoy our city and provincial parks. The foliage is gorgeous. I look forward to seeing you again next week, so please hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share. I'm always open to your ideas. I'm very passionate to share anything Calgary and real estate related. So see you next week.